Victory is ours.
Hello there, and you are finally, when I have reset the scores, you are finally live in the first game of an epic confrontation. This is a direct replay of a fantastic series known as the Ultimate Team Tournament that greeted everybody's screens in March this year. The last big 2 versus 2 tournament. In the south, you're looking at the winners of that tournament. It's Von Asten from the Netherlands and Isildur from the UK.
That's right, and in the northwest, seeking revenge and having had a very good day of 2v2 today, it is playing as OKW in the red, DevM, and Helping Hands, Austere.
There you go. It is Outskirts. We've had our first commander picked. It is Armoured Assault Tactics. Let's look at that. A machine and gewehr has been built, says Von Asten's radio intercept. He knows this machine gun is built, and that is such a profound advantage. Nobody would expect the Wehrmacht to go machine gun so early. It's ironic. Thank you. You picked up on it. Good. Your irony receptors and sensors are on full alert. Thank you.
Just to explain for anyone that doesn't know, by the way, radio intercept is going to tell the allies, especially Von Asten, when units from the opponents are built. So it's a nice little strategic boost to have at the start of the game. They're going to be able to pick their counters appropriately. They have left themselves open for it. There's no, actually, a tier 1 from Isildur and no tier for Von Asten, so he's able to counter what he hears.
Indeed. Conscripts rushing forth from Von Asten. Some really good strategic little emplacements here. Meanwhile, Pioneers doing the same from Helping Hands. Let's check out an Isildur's army. Penals into M3, Dan.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a nice choice. It's going to be good against OKW because they won't be able to snare at the start of the game. And just wanted to point out as well some good work being done by Isildur to negate some of the green cover areas by laying barbed wire down. Nice to see that at the start of the game. He doesn't want to get pushed off by Hands and DevM right at the beginning.
No, he does not. Stern Pioneers take a great position behind this van, causing these combat engineers all kinds of problems. They linger their retreat down. They have to, because the Stern Pioneers are going to eat them alive. The conscripts come into body block. This is a tense and terse engagement. Combat engineers do the tag team out of there. It's a hot tag, and conscripts come in to mitigate. Elsewhere, what do you see in the south, Dan?
I see that the M3 is now coming up the field. It looks like the Penal Battalion is going to get in there, and that unit should be going around now to push the Volksgrenadiers off of the capping fuel left. It's a good way for them to cap the map quickly as well.
DevM can hear it coming on his headset, though. He knows that there's a threat, and he can't do anything to counter it whilst he's in veterancy, whilst he hasn't got his first truck down and deployed. In the north, Von Asten's getting aggressive. He's going for these cut-offs. The fuel's going to be a thing of the past very shortly.
Yep, nice gameplay there, because of course they don't have the fuel on their side of the map at the moment, so they definitely don't want Axis benefiting from a fuel advantage. Nice sensible play. And in the center, look at this early Raketten. Actually, this is going to be specifically designed to take down the M3 from Isildur.
DevM's Raketten-Werfer usage was pretty good in the game that Momo and I cast, the 1 hour 10 minute slog. It was just everything else that kind of let him down, as he lost so much. But the Raketten-Werfer usage was a personal highlight of his. Penal Battalions are going to have so much DPS, so those SVTs, semi-automatics, forcing the Volksgrenadiers away. Cut-off is still being maintained, and these Stern Pioneers are going to try and go round the south tip of this house, whilst the Volksgrenadiers cower behind a wheelbarrow.
Look at that Raketten. So sneaky. It's waiting for that M3 to pop around, and actually it looks like it might. Don't know if he has the vision. He's just picked it out then, but the Raketten wasn't set up.
Ooh. It's going to be tense, just like when there's a sniper on the field. The Raketten-Werfer is the anti-tank sniper unit. Kind of can cloak around, very slow moving speed, but it can get good angles. Nice incendiary grenade by the Volksgrenadier. Here comes the M3 with the flamethrower, though momentarily body blocked. It'll go on regardless. Raketten-Werfer is waiting, though. DevM looking for the shot. Will he get it? Surely he will.
He's got a good position to set up here, actually, although there is a shot blocker there.
Oh!
Reveals.
just outside that arc of fire there. Oh.
Yeah, Isildur's actually making the right decision here. I think he's going to push the Raketten with the M3. This is a great choice because it's going to be very difficult for the Raketten to land a shot. That being said...
So close. So close. Surely now. Come on, Raketten. I believe. No. So, just to be aware, Devem has gone Battle Grouper, and we've also got Healing Fans. We're going to come on fully healthed onto the squad. Isildur and Von Asten have done the same in base, Field Infirmary, so looking good.
I don't think we've seen any surprises so far. Actually, I think that Axis may struggle a little bit often on this map, especially against the Penals. They're going to be very strong. Getting healing early is the right choice to help start countering those. Of course, we need to see that fuel reconnected, which we are now, and Helping Hands Devon, as they have been all day, working together to overcome
Get the job done, Bob the Builder.
Yes.
Indeed. Sorry, Dan. I couldn't help but interrupt you there. You did magically stumble upon a lyric from a children's TV show. But regardless, they do finally have their fuel back. But they've had so many outages in this game, Dan. They've been cut off twice for at least a minute apiece.
I don't think it's so bad. It does add up when you don't have the strategic points. I think that's where actually the fuel advantage becomes really severe. But let's get this Von Asten.
Tell you what, this Pioneer... Oh, Conscripts had to get out of the house, Dan, because they had such little health. One-man Grenadier lingering. Rifle nading before he retreats. That's a nice rifle nade. Well dodged, though, by Von Asten. Good reflexes with the retreat there.
What I really like here is Hans has just had a little bit of a victory on the right-hand side, and Devem just... He's not there to kind of brute force the Soviets off the right-hand side with Hans. He's actually gone to do some very much needed capping on the left. This is going to spread the teams out and give a bit more opportunity for flanking routes to open up.
Do you know what I really like as well? His opponents would not expect his Rakettenwerfer to be there, and it didn't matter because Rakettenwerfers always miss when they haven't attained veterancy at long range, seemingly. Again, the cut-off Von Asten. What a brute. Not relenting for even a moment. Once he's dead, though, it looks like Devem will be able to claim the southern fuel, so at least he'll have that. Nice incendiary grenade dodged by the Penal Battalion. Up against Stern Pioneers.
Awkward retreat path, actually.
Now, I've seen a lot of blocking around that area in the games today. Ooh. Flak half track early on with the 2-2-2. And do great damage against the house, and Isildur knows it, so he has to get out of there, but he meets a salvo of fire.
Not a good retreat either, getting out of the wrong side of the building, so lost the model on the way around, unfortunately. Scout car is there to try and clear up on the retreat, but there is an AT gun from Von Asten, well placed, well expected.
Missed, though. No 18-8s, he's just pretending.
AT gun, sorry.
Oh, I know, but also there's no 18-8s. Don't worry.
I thought I said 18-8s.
No, you didn't. Don't be paranoid. You're a great caster. You're always right. As am I. I never missed an engagement, you know, ever. In 6 years of casting. Anyway, here we go. Now he's pretending he's got 18-8s again. And this time he's just running away.
Tier 3 up for both Soviet players at the moment. We're getting another Raketten for Devem. No tier 2 yet, actually, for Hans. So, sorry, there is a tier 2 up. He hasn't gone for battle phase 2.
Well,
which we'll be expecting, I think, in the next 5 minutes.
Indeed. I've got the 2-2-2. It's been marauding around. It's got no kills as of yet. M3 has got 6, but does eat a Faust. Maybe going for 2, but the combat engineers will have a thing or two to say about that, as will the Penal Battalions. Meanwhile, let's check out the west as the Zisgun is overlooking the conscripts, heavily outmatched and forced away.
Just want to point out, whilst we've got a second, we have had some more commander picks. So Isildur with guard motor, Hans going in with Jaeger infantry again, which we saw in the first game of the last series. Don't know if everyone was a fan of that choice, actually, but It's not a bad commander anymore.
Oh, nice by the scout car, taking out the M3. It's nice to have an M3 with overdrive and veterancy 1, you know, but they don't have that anymore. Maxim firing Ratata in the south. Water-cooled World War I technology. I recommend to any fans of military history, check out They Shall Not Grow Old, World War I documentary made by Peter Jackson. Plenty of Maxims on display in that documentary, and not in a positive way. And here we go. They're trolleying their way into battle. Focus Grenadiers don't know what's going to hit them.
Van Asten and Isildur find themselves in a real problem at the moment. Nearly every territory on the map has been captured, leaving the 2 strategic points only. We really have to make use now of the double T-70 that's come out.
And they may have a chance to do that right now. The Grenadiers, look at that! Insane play by Helping Hands. He's hiding until he has time to retreat. Does the T-70 know where he is? He's going to have to vault his way out of there! What a heroic Grenadier! Come on, Grenadier! Oh, that was amazing by Hands! No! Like a scene from Platoon! Oh, dear me. Helping Hands at least showing he's got some crazy skills. That was lovely stuff.
T-70s don't have the easiest time on the field. There's a double Raketten from DevM working its way up, and actually one of the T-70s may be reversing into this trap at this very moment. Here come the double. Oh!
One more!
Double hits.
Max range! Hail Mary! Oh, and misses wildly.
Hit one vehicle.
Oh yes, the tractor. Nice DP/mine explosion. Axis have dominated since they lacked so much fuel control. They weren't at all shocked by the early aggression of the Allies. They were almost like, oh, you want to play at that, do you? Have some of this.
No, it's a rocky start. I think, again, just to be expected, you know, Allies tend to have a little bit of a boost at the start, but Hands and Devon, they're just playing very, very well together. I've said it many times.
Finally getting that synergy, and everybody said that the weakness of these two 1 versus 1 heroes was, you know, that they're just that, but they're not playing like that today. Finally finding their mojo. There's a 2 versus 2 team. Is he going to activate this light artillery barrage? Probably be wise from Von Asten, seemingly not. There he goes, a little bit late, but never mind. Ziskin is going to meet Rakettenwerfer fire of DevM. Oh, 1 shot, 2 shot. Oh! I never know if it's delayed out of control or it's actually survived. Do you? Because sometimes they take ages to explode, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they normally set on fire first and someone jumps out, so...
Oh, thank you for that. There's a helpful tips there, eh? Usually they smash themselves into thousands of tiny pieces, and that means the unit has died. Thank you for that. Fantastic. T-70 going south. There's a Focus Grenadier going to Faust it. Oh, nice mine on that MG34.
Actually, there was a couple of mines laid by Devem on that side, so you need to see Isildur going in with the minesweepers, really.
It's going to be
using the T-70 too far up like that. So it's quite risky, to be honest, given that mines
Conscript dying in the north, getting finished off by the scout car. Jaegers are going to hit a mine themselves, but the damage was done there by Helping Hands.
Ooh, there's a nice flank on center VP. As MG42 suppressing the conscripts. Engineer's going to come around and burst them with a flamethrower. It's going to signal immediate retreat for Helping Hands. And of course, allies need to get those VPs. It's urgent.
Oh, this is harrowing. These combat engineers could release this poor Wehrmacht troop from the wheels, but they didn't even bother. They just watched him die. How harrowing. Can't believe... Dan, I know you didn't have the same like glitch as me, but you can imagine what I was watching, and that's why you're laughing.
I can. Yes.
Good stuff. We got guards branching out to cap the victory point here in the south. Similar story in the center. So allies are stabilizing.
Yeah, it's good to see. Actually, that period of Axis dominance is starting to move aside now as the T70's effectiveness is beginning to show. And actually, overall, I say that both teams are playing very, very well. I think we expect this from Von Asten and Silva to play very, very well. They are 2v2 victors in so many previous events.
Or will we see a famous Helping Hands rifle nade here? Oh no, I shouldn't have said it. It might have happened. Here we go. We've got First Grenadiers and Sturm Pioneers pushing deep into territories, trying to cut off this penal battalion with a savage display of body blocking, Sturm Gewehrs and Car 98Ks. They're going to finish the job.
Good kill. Very good kill. Got minefield actually on the right side fuel. I always find this interesting because players do like to click there without looking. Might catch a squad off guard. Keep an eye on that one.
Was it a mine or like a demo or something, sorry?
It's a minefield. It's a
an S-mine. I see. Very good. On the right fuel. Very good.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for that one. Panzer IV has just hit the field for Helping Hands, which I believe to be our first medium vehicle of the game.
And thankfully, because I've disabled cartoonish World War II skins, it's just a lovely, naked, fresh from the factory Panzer IV, rather than the Disney Panzer IV. Thank you, Relic, for giving us that feature. And also giving us many lovely skins over the years, and community members for making such skins. AE's covering all his bases here and trying to offend no one, whilst also entertaining no one.
You did so well.
Thank you. Thank you. I learnt from the best. You.
We got no munitions capped for the Axis. How long has that been like that?
A small time. They don't seem to have many munitions, it would seem. DevM's been using his very well. Hands also. A lot of bob wiring happening. Panzer IV must have known the conscripts were behind that building. That was brutal from Helping Hands. Great stuff. Elsewhere in the centre, Vets 2 combat engineers and conscripts force their way in to stop these dastardly First Grenadiers from capping. They do. Oh, he rolls out of the grenade! Haha, Von Asten, that was great stuff. I love
Balls
seeing
of steel, though, to stay in that engagement. He handled it very well, I think, with the flamethrower obviously giving a sizable amount of suppression. On the right side, AT guns taking shots on the Panzer IV with the T70 there to protect. And the G43's there. Helping Hands, of course, has picked Lightning War. Nearly on 1,000 manpower, by the way, Helping Hands right now.
T70 being missed by the Panzer IV is able to reverse away, as does the 2 versus 2. What a great game we're now seeing unfold before our very eyes as the Allies try and push their way back into this game on all fronts. They're met with staunch resistance, however, so it is going to be a stern task. Wow, a lot of manpower for Helping Hands. Danny must be preserving a lot of units. Certainly got a lot of.
Yeah. Just mentioned he's stacking up to 1,000. I mean, it's a good thing to do because he's having to spend it now. Actually, once he spent it on there, he's got one more, so I don't know where the rest of it went. Maybe he's tacking. In fact, yes, Battle Phase 3 is going to be what he's going for at the moment, so Hans is going for the later game, of course, with Jaeger infantry.
Panzer IV, one shot away. Yeah, conscripts have to get out of the garrison. Allow me to give you one of Von Ivan's sacred texts from his tomes. 3 well-microed units are a lot better than 10 poorly microed units. So, you know, doing more with less isn't so much a bad thing in Common Heroes sometimes. So anyway, let's see what happens in the sense of these First Grenadiers. Just man through that engagement. Raketans are waiting for the T70 though.
Yeah, unfortunately one of them isn't turned to face. So I don't know if the vision is there.
No, it would have been in the fog of war. Oh, what do we have in the east? Yes.
Yeah, Panzer IV there. I think it was trying to chase a retreating unit. That was the Maxim. Needs to be careful though. Double AT guns for Von Asten are scouting, and of course snares available from the conscripts there. Tier 4 has just been revealed in the north as conscripts poke their head around for the strategic decap to fuel.
All these Jaegers
from Hands.
Yes!
It's on!
That is one for Hans' montages of rifle nades. He gets it on retreat. He is the master of that ability. And he'll be very annoyed that this mine explodes because he thinks he should have detonated that mine with the rifle grenade. I did see on stream, by the way, he was streaming with Devon. He did a rifle nade on retreat that literally hit the penal battalion in the back of the head. And it didn't kill him. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. Sometimes you do have bad luck. Here comes the Ziskuns hitting trees and walls and all kinds of obstacles in between them and that Panzer IV.
Silgo just picks up a Raketten off of Dev M there. They've been a little bit careless. The Raketten was on its own. It's going to be recruited by penals, and now have the opportunity to fire on this Panzer IV.
He reverses his way into battle. That was hilarious. He's facing the wrong way. What are you doing? Now his turret has to traverse. Can't get the shot off in time. That's the advantage of going into the battle facing the right way. It's one of the ancient arts of warfare there, Dan.
The good thing is that you can get out quicker because you can accelerate faster when you retreat. So
the Italian tank design ethos. I like it.
This is a French strategy. If you drive in backwards, is it retreating when you drive off forwards?
I do not condone this.
T-34-85 is now on the field. Check that, it's the 85. Yes, from the Sealdor Guard motor. And this is the matchup that we need to deal with the Panzer IV.
Do indeed. Exactly, the T-34-85 is the natural hunting prey of the Panzer IV. It can not reliably bounce shots on its frontal armor, but semi-reliably, like 50% of the time. And I'm just making these stats up, don't take them down and write them down, that's for certain. But certainly it can consistently penetrate the Panzer IV and push it away. Must be noted.
Still got a triple cap, by the way, for Axis. Helping Hands and Devon have done very, very well in the VPs. I think they know that that kind of game is very key to victory, even if you're not got map control. Definitely shows. Another great rifle grenade from Hans. Doesn't quite connect.
Must be said, the OKW Panzer IV, of course, a little bit better armor values. A little bit more expensive, though. And we see, what's this? A T-34-85 coming up for Von Asten, so we're seeing stereo builds from both teams. What was this gun's even thinking there? Let's ignore them, they are silly anti-tank guns.
I think what's nice about this, actually, if they've got the T-34-85s and later they bring in the Su-85, they've got T-70s. Both players have T-70s at Vet 2. The vision that's going to be coming off of this is fantastic. And they've got great opportunities to use the later game Soviet strengths.
Just poking their heads out there, trying to get an idea of what's happening. T-70 meeting the march of the Grenadiers, but it looks like the Axis will again get a triple cap. Unfathomable how the Allies will get back into this, because the Axis have looked so strong. But just wait and see. Isildur and Von Asten didn't win UTT for nothing. They managed to smite Hans and Devem in that earlier tournament this year. But we're now going to ask ourselves the question, have Hans and Devem improved to the point where they are now one of the #1 teams in this game? Made no sense, but regardless.
Today would be the day for that, I think, because they played very well in the earlier series. Just got to be so careful with the composition they've got. But of course, Hans has actually got tier 4. He's actually got all the resources he needs to build something, but I just don't know that he knows what to build yet.
Pack 40 being forced away. The Allies certainly getting aggressive on all fronts. Right in the north, they're crushing S-mines and attacking Pack 40s. About to decrew the same vehicle. In the north, victory point, they're capping. Central situation, Panzer IV forces them away from there. And in the south, they're making a concerted effort to force away these Rakettenwerfers, giving the T-34-85s their room to operate.
Flag Half-Track's having a great game, by the way. Really, really great game. It's forcing a retreat of a lot of units. It's well protected by the Rakettens. Devem is playing that very well, and as you just see, they're taking down any of the planes. It's going to be great when Von Asten wants to start using the IL-2 Sturmovik.
Oh, look at this blitzkrieg from the Panzer IV after this T-34-85, allowing them to recap the Pack 40. Very important engagement there. Bounces off the frontal armor. That's what I was talking about earlier. It is a bit of a mismatch as medium armor goes. It's happening in the south as well. However, the stolen Raketenwerfer comes to their rescue.
Allies need to... Not playing badly, they are down on the VPs at the moment, but they need to get together everything they have. Plan, I think it does actually rely a little bit in the Su-85, to be honest. I don't think they've got the infantry moving forward, the Su-85, you know, T-34-85 is going to be clearing infantry. Then maybe they stand a chance. At the moment, though, actually look at these Rakettens from DevM. They might actually get the T-34-85 here.
Oh, but it nearly gets the flak. One Raketten down, the other stands strong, but it's facing the wrong way. Panzer IV bounces. They didn't need that. Raketenwerfer's retreating. T-34-85 reverses. Oh, penetrated at the very last moment.
Big loss for Isildur there, I think. Actually, Hans has gone with the Brumbear for his loadout. Panzer IV Brumbear. Get 2 scout car. It's interesting, actually, watching this game sway quite a lot because the Allies do tend to come back into this quite well. They've actually got another window of opportunity here, I think.
Nice dodge of the... Sorry, I went ooh because you nearly triggered an AE line. You know, you draw my backstring there.
I was wondering why you said it. But
It's back and forth, ebb and flow, to and fro. God, we've been casting too long together now. Or maybe just long enough to see heroic teams such as this play for $20,500. Maybe it's all been leading to this moment. Panzer IV Brumbear bossing the north. In the south, we've got engagements as the Volksgrenadiers march forward and the T-70 meets them.
A marked target was called down immediately. Hans is going to use the light artillery barrage to stop those AT guns from getting any penetrating shots whilst the snare is on the Brumbear. We need that Su-85, but unfortunately Isildur just spent his resources on the T-34-85. It's going to be von Asten that brings the Su-85 to the table now. Really necessary to deal with the Brumbear.
T-70's gone on holiday. There is a mine covering him as well. Have you seen that mine? He's on the beach in the south. Oh, but the Panzerkampfwagen Fernf is ready and waiting. It has been penetrated. Mark target. Raketten did not penetrate on its second volley. Will the T-34-85 go in now? Panther recoils in terror and reverses away. Oh, Guards with the pickup, Dan. Guards with a great pickup on this Volksgrenadier in the centre. Surely?
Yeah, of course they do have to stand still to get the accuracy off on a shot. Flak just manages to defend it with suppression at max range. The Su-85 has just hit the field and we're going to be expecting that to go on the right hand side, but it needs to get there quickly before this big flank from Helping Hands comes in.
Yeah, huge flank. He's going for the Zisguns first, and here comes another LAB. He's going to destroy these support weapons. There you go.
Clever as well because he was blocking the AT gun with the Panzer IV there. That T-34 looked like it was hiding behind the trees for cover, meaning it was useless to help in that engagement.
I have to say, some of the things that Helping Hands has done today have been absolutely masterful. I don't think he's a meme anymore. And that's, I only say that because I was obviously in the Co-1 scene, and back in the day, Helping Hands was this guy that raged on stream. But he's a true master of the game nowadays, there's no denying it. He does things that other players don't think to do sometimes, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got a good rhythm for the gameplay. He's got a good rhythm. That's a key thing in Company Heroes, is just learning when to push, learning kind of how to detect when a push should go in, and it takes time. But you're absolutely right. He's one of the best out there now.
There's no denying it. And 2 versus 2 is his arena, the only player ever to hold #1 spots in all 5 factions at the same time in random 2 versus 2. He can carry anybody to a victory. Mine goes off, nearly destroys the mortar. Not that he has to carry DevM very much, because DevM, his plaudits go without saying. Anyway, the Helping Hands is trying to cap north right now. The DevM's pushing through the centre. Raketenwerfer is ready should the T-70 be out of position, but the Penal Battalion's ready for it. First rocket artillery, where's it going to land? Oh, it's rubbish.
I'm really surprised to see Von Asten not using the Su-85 more. It did take one hit from an AT gun just north of the central lane, but to retreat it so far back, it's very much needed right now to defend against this Command Panther.
Isildur and Von Asten are showing just why they are the reigning tournament 2 vs 2 tournament champions. They are under heavy assault now, as the Panther is about to get a huge penetration, surely. Oh, missed by a whisker. Absolute whisker. T-70 just penetrated. Oh, nice Raketen play by Isildur. Right around the back there. Took out that Panzer IV with gusto.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And now we've got the Su-85 with a bit of support from an AT gun trying to take down the Panzer IV. He's going to have to retreat, but if he stops the vehicle, he might get one shot off, not before the Faust comes in from the Grenadiers. Actually, no, that was an AT gun. It was a Raketen.
It was a Raketenwerfer shot from afar. It was great play indeed. Von Asten now bringing in the Sturmovix. Of course, there is that flak, I believe, still.
Yes, yeah, just behind the Panther at the moment. Not set up though, so.
Oh. Well, it can shoot down the planes, it just doesn't want to. There it goes now, it's having a little go as we speak. Oh no, it's not, it's attacking that. Never mind.
No, it will get to work now. That's the first one.
One plane down, another, one more to go.
You need to be careful with these, because these do crash into the base. It's like, there we go, T-70 half health.
Great
you
stuff.
can tell the direction of that one.
Oh dear.
So careful with those.
Meanwhile, the Brumbear was wrecking havoc in the north. Alpagans and Devem are starting to coil around their prey like a boa constrictor. Isildur and Von Asten have a lot of comeback potential, though, it must be said. They are Soviets, and despite how the factions were designed, it certainly is the case that Soviets are the late-game behemoth of top-level play. Certainly not in like 4 versus 4, as most people in the chat's experience, but in the top level, it's undisputed that Soviets seem to come into their own the later the game goes.
They've got some great tools, though. I think the veterancy for Soviets is really strong as well, especially when you look at things like the Su-85 and how good that can get.
Will they be able to get those weapons out because they're being assaulted so fiercely and frequently?
I would say so. Isildur's brought out the Su-85 now. Because Von Asten obviously lost his in an earlier engagement. One thing they are behind on those, look at Hans. Again, nearly 1,000 manpower. He's got a lot on the field. So Hans is able to just like rebuild whenever anything goes wrong. That's his advantage to bring right now. As for poor Von Asten, he's struggling to reinforce the units he has in his base.
He is, and the Brumbear's peppering anything that dares escape the Kessel. The boiling pot, the pocket is being closed. The Brumbear rains fire and death from above. Panther forcing the T-34-85 away, getting a second shot in cheekily. Su-85, the Radina needs you right now in its hour of need. Here's another one. They've got 2 of them.
I kind of like what they're doing. I mean, they're down on the VPs, fine, but they are, I think, doing something sensible here, which is just pulling back very slightly. They've got recon mode on the T-70s. You know, they're just picking fights, making sure they win those fights, and then when they get the vehicles they need, then they can make that push out. And I think they'll be successful when they do, if they keep playing this way.
Panzer IV's coming to deal with the T-34-85 menace. Rear armor penetrated. Oh, it's a Talomine! What have you seen elsewhere, Dan?
No, actually, just looking at that engagement, Hans did go into the block there. I felt like Hans guided that T-34 into that Talomine.
Like a sheepdog. A malicious sheepdog. It's Su-85 dueling with the Panther. Brumbear dealing damage to the Maxim. Oh.
tense situation. The Allies are going for 2 VPs at the moment. Looks like they're going to secure the one on the right. Center is the focus right now, and the T-70 takes a blast from the Brumbear. Su-85 is in the back lines to help, but a bit too far back, actually, to be very useful.
Oh, LAB on this poor retreating penal. Meanwhile, Panther watches over the centre. It's Pintle Mountain wrecking that guard squad. In the north, we've got a breakout. Su-85's hunting for the Brumbear and attacks the mortar.
Oh, it actually looks like the Brumbear could have taken a snare there if not for tier 4 suppression on the radius. T-3485 on the left side, it's Vet 2, and it needs to do some work to clear the MG42 off left so the Allies can start getting some fuel back in. Su-85 is caught off guard in the north.
Off guard indeed, it's stuck. And the Panther is taking full effect. Oh, as the Brumbear rains a huge shot down on the Ziscon and then on the Su-85. This is a brutal assault from both angles. Su-85's in no man's land, and now is in a different plane of existence altogether. Oh, T-34's going for the MG in the west at least. May go on and try and take out the flak. Veteran C5. Oh, but the Panzer IV's there.
They have to be really careful this far behind enemy lines, because a single mine here would be the end of that T-3485. Isildur has double minesweepers, but they're back in base healing the Su-85 at the moment. They've got to be so careful.
Here comes the Panther. Operating at full effect. One more shot and that's a dead T-34. There we go. Now smithereens. Oh, what's this in base? Oh, it's a red man running through the base. I thought we were just having a base inspection. And we weren't, don't worry.
T-70, look at the speed on that T-70 there, the Vet 3, beautiful. And well played there to get some damage off.
Oh,
Scout car.
Flak off track being a menace in the centre still. Meanwhile, that's a Maxim, a stolen Maxim, causing all kinds of problems. What's just gone down there? Panzer IV? How did that die?
Panzer IV in the centre. Actually, it went down to the stolen Raketten, I think, in the centre. Those Raketten's actually had a really good game. MM's been throwing them out for everyone to use.
He has.
Every player's got one.
Now one of the players has just lost theirs. Veteran C3 for Isildur. Su-85 almost back into combat. Von Asten has no tanks right now. DevM has a nice armor cavalcade. 50 points remain to put a W in the... a tick in the win column for this final series.
T-70. How do you get the artillery barrage there?
Oh! That's
spotted for that with the
juicy.
flares
Yes,
from
indeed.
DevM. They're using it together. Nice little play. Trying to catch Isildur off guard. Isildur is still switched on. Up, but actually now switched off as they throw in the towel to surrender. GG.
I was about to say, just look how demoralized these units look. They're like, they won't even let us repair. It's now time to GG in despair.
Victory is ours.
Right, there we go. So, interesting game one.
It was. It's a very interesting game one.
Let's...
And actually, have you had a look at the match stats for that?
No, and I can't now. That's for certain. Anything interesting from them? No, I'm out of them. I'm out of the game, you see. Oh, no, I can. It comes up after. I'm an idiot. It's fine. Here they are. I thought they have to stay in the game. 4
years.
No, longer. I was in, like, the alpha for KO2, so, you know. Anyway, I just don't learn. I have a very limited learning capacity. What stat did you want to point out, Dan?
Actually, Von Asten struggled a lot in that game with the manpower. Actually, he played very well. I just want to point this out. The 75-200 doesn't indicate he had like a terrible play there, really. But it's a very Soviet thing, do you know what I mean, to continually be throwing units up the front. But yeah, I mean, It's a lot. It's a big manpower hit. That makes you struggle a lot when that happens.
I do feel like you tried to put lipstick on a pig there. 75 to 100 isn't good. Let's face it. He's had a bit of a shocker there, but he is Soviet, so there's a mitigating factor. And we did see Von Asten do some great plays. So, although I did want to use the phrase "lipstick on a pig" because I find it funny, he did do some great plays, individual plays that we both saw with our eyes in that game. Dev Ebb and Hans, though, I felt they're in a bit of a mode right now. They've got something about them that's looking super fierce. So let's see if that continues, I guess.